to lowcarbrecipeideas.com. Today we're going to make a recipe. It's a low-carb Mexican flavored meatloaf. Meatloaf is one of our favorite foods in the household, and I'm always trying something different, so I've just put this one together and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So let's get started. Now this is a very simple recipe. All we're basically doing is dressing up our meat. Now in this bowl here I have 2 pounds of a combination of pork and beef ground up. You can just use regular beef or you can use pork. It's up to you what you want to use, but I like this combination, so that's what I'm using. So let's get started. So what I've got is a half a cup of ground up pork rinds. So this is the package, this brand name that I usually buy. It's Frito-Lay, and I used about a quarter of a bag of it. It doesn't take much to put them in a plastic bag, roll them with a rolling pin, and then you get a half a cup. So I'm just going to throw that in there. Then we've got 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin. I love cumin. I just love the smell of the cumin and the flavor it gives to a lot of the recipes. And I've got a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now we're going to add in 2 eggs. Now my 2 eggs, I actually only needed the whites from another recipe that I was doing, so I'm just putting in the yolks, but definitely put in both eggs. And you probably wouldn't have known that's what I did, but I'm just being honest with you. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I put on a rubber glove because this is very cold, because I had the meat in the fridge, and I just find it easier to mix it with the rubber glove. The temperature is, it's so cold. It's still really cold, but not like it could be just in the bare hands. Plus it keeps my hands quite clean too. So we're just going to mix this all up. Then we're going to add a half a cup of salsa. Now you need to look at the back of your salsa jars to find out what the carb count is. The particular one I'm using is a selection. It's a mild. You can do mild, medium, hot. It depends on what you want. But the carb count is very good with that particular brand. And I've got a small onion, white onion chopped. And a half a cup of shredded cheese. Now I had mozzarella cheese, I had marble cheese, I had different kinds of cheeses, so I just took each block, ground it all up, shredded it, and we've got it in our recipe. So I'm just going to take the time and mix this up really, really well. And the last thing we're going to add in is our sliced mushrooms. So I have 227 grams of mushrooms, and we're just going to mix this all in. So I've got it all mixed nicely, and I'm going to bring over my cookie sheet, and we're going to put it on here. And we're going to make it into just a half a ball. You can put it in a Pyrex dish if you'd like. I'm going to do it on the cookie sheet. And I don't think it's going to be too greasy. If it is, I'll have to be prepared to transform it into another dish. There, now we're going to put it in the oven. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot. I have a half a cup or a quarter of a cup of my salsa. So I'm just going to spread that on top. And we're going to put it in the oven at 350 for approximately 45 minutes. And then when it's almost done, we're going to shred some cheese, put it on top, put it back in the oven, and then we'll be ready to eat once it's all melted. I've just removed the meatloaf from the oven, and I'm going to put on a cup of cheese to melt on top. And once it's melted, we're ready to serve. And the cheese, I've got like a combination of mozzarella, cheddar, marble cheese. And so I'm just going to put this back in the oven to let it melt. It smells delish. And it took an hour and 15 minutes to cook this meatloaf. Now it just depends on the size. So whatever size you amount that you use is how you decide how long you're going to cook it for. So here's my low-carb Mexican flavor meatloaf. I actually like ketchup with my meatloaf, so I just kind of give it a little dip. It's very nice. It's not overpowering. You could still use the same amount of spices that I did use, but use less meat, and then you'll have a stronger flavor of the Mexican flavor. And the ketchup, I use Heinz, sugar reduced, and it's lower in carbs compared to regular ketchup. So if you're going to use ketchup, try and find that product. Anyhow, go to lowcarbrecipe.com and try this recipe and try some of my other recipes. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.